Okay, let's talk about the problem of the day. Be sure to answer the questions I ask out loud. Think about how your work that you already did is the same or different from what we're going to talk about together. So in this problem, what are we trying to figure out? Go ahead and say it out loud. Yeah, we got to figure out how long his soccer practice is, okay? So in this problem, are we looking for an end time, a start time, or an elapsed time? And how do you know? Say it out loud. Yeah, we're looking for an elapsed time, aren't we? We know that practice starts at 4:25. So that's a start time. We know that it ends at 7:40. That's an end time, right? And then we're trying to figure out what the time is in between. How long, right? That's the elapsed time. Okay, great. So how could we represent what we know and what we need to figure out in this problem? Say it out loud. Well, one way we could do it is we could write start, end, and elapsed. Right? And for start, we could put 4:25 p.m. For end, we could put 7:40 p.m. And then for elapsed, we could just put an E, because that's the thing that we don't know that we're trying to figure out. Okay, so when we're representing elapsed time problems today, what are we going to need to make sure and ask ourselves? Say it out loud. Yeah, yep. We got to ask ourselves, what's the start time, what's the end time, and what's the elapsed time, and which of those is unknown. So read these thinking questions with me. Go ahead. What is my start time, end time, and elapsed time? Which of these is unknown? Okay, so I'm wondering, what tool could we use to go ahead and figure out what the elapsed time is in this problem? And how would that tool work? Go ahead and explain your thinking out loud. Yeah, we could use a number line. Right? We could put 4:25 at one end. We could put 7:40 at the other end, and then we could see how many jumps it takes to get from our start time to our end time. So the distance between those two, that's going to be our elapsed time. All right, so I'm wondering, what's the first jump we might want to make and why? Say it out loud. Yeah, my students often want to make a jump in a situation like this of about 5 minutes, because that gets them to 4:30. And times that end in multiples of 10 are easier to work with and jump from. Okay, so what would our next jump maybe want to be? Say it out loud and explain your thinking. Probably the next thing we'd want to do is jump 30 minutes so that we could get to 5 o'clock. Now, why would we want to get to 5 o'clock? Say it out loud. Right, 5 o'clock is an even hour, right, with no minutes. And a time like this is super easy to jump forward from. Okay, now what? Say it out loud. Yeah, it probably makes sense now to go ahead and make a jump of 2 hours, because that gets us to 7 o'clock. right? And that is the right hour for the end time we're trying to get to. All right, what would our last jump be? Say it out loud. Yes. Last jump here is going to be a jump of 40 minutes. And that's going to take us right to 7:40. Okay, so what is our total elapsed time? Say it out loud. Yeah. We've got 2 hours and we've got 75 minutes. So, should this be our final answer? Why or why not? Make sure you explain your thinking. Go ahead. Yeah, it's not, is it? We know there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, so we can regroup. We can take our 75 minutes, 60 of those minutes, and 15 minutes, right? 60 minutes becomes an hour. We've got 15 minutes left over. So what's our final elapsed time? Say it out loud. Yeah. 3 hours and 15 minutes. Great. So, what could you ask yourself today to help you think about if you might need to regroup like we did in this problem? Say it out loud. It's a question we've used before. Do we have enough of a smaller unit to make a larger unit? If so, we regroup.